Knicks, huh?
But the best thing about New York City is
K-N-I-C-K-S. Everybody say go New York, go New York, go!
Go New York, go New York, go!
Hey everybody, welcome to the New York Knicks podcast, episode 679. We decided that we wanted to do a positive episode, and a good time to do that would be before the Celtics series. So here
Yes. Yes, this will be a very positive episode. It's a good thing also we didn't plan this ahead of time. We've noticed if we plan the episode ahead of time, the Knicks always lose. Now we're like, hey, the series is over. Let's do a wrap-up episode. And Jake, I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
I know you already started the show. Do you think we should restart the show? But before we restart the show, should we do layup lines?
Apparently that was the halftime strategy that worked.
Could the Knicks do layup lines during every TV timeout?
I mean, it was the first non-third quarter of doom that they've had all series.
Oh, yeah, it wasn't even. It was Mikal Bridges being like, it wasn't even Tibbs being like, let's do this. Mikal Bridges is like, hey, how about I coach right now? Let's do a layup lines that work for us in Phoenix. And fucking it worked.
I was like, oh my God, they just blew the 16-point lead. They're going into the third down by 2. Maybe we'll have to turn this game off like in 5 minutes. And then they actually went on a run in the third and looked really good doing it.
It looked really good. Gave us hope before they almost destroyed our hope before having just an amazing ending. I think I saw something with like 3 minutes to go. There was just that win probability, and the win probability for Detroit was like 96%.
Yeah.
Which really makes those win probabilities completely worthless.
Yeah, they're I don't know, they're weird. So the Knicks showed flashes of what we wanted them to look like.
Yes, there was especially the first quarter, some real ball movement. Even the second quarter, third, there was some ball movement. There was Bridges wasn't hot from 3, but really hot from 2. They were getting the ball to OG. Josh Hart, I don't think shot in the first half, but whatever. He was doing the hustle plays. Towns. We'll go on, UJ. I don't think I have anything positive about that.
Well, I mean, Towns did kind of a disappearing act for a while, but OG and Bridges hit some big shots. Obviously, Brunson was just superhuman again. That final shot was that crossover between the legs crossover he did was so nice that people thought it was a push off, and it was just this incredible move that got one of the better defenders in the NBA just completely backpedaled, and he gave himself enough space. Hit the clutch shot, of course.
When you say people thought that was a push off, did you kind of think that was a push off before you saw the replay?
I did at first. I thought it was like a Jordan type thing, and then they showed the replay. I'm like, oh my God, that was totally clean.
I saw a video of I saw that video they have of Jalen being trained by his dad when he was like 8 years old.
Mm-hmm.
You see that video, and he's kind of doing the crossover, learning the early parts of the crossover. I was watching that this morning. I'm like, man, he's been working on this. Brunson's just amazing. It was just cool to watch him. That video is just kind of cool to watch his dad kind of training him. But that shot was. I was trying to think like, that was one of the biggest shots I've seen a Knick hit. But I mean, the Knicks hit some really big shots last year, or Brunson hit some really big shots last year, and Dante hit that big shot last year against Philly. But holy shit, this was can you think of a bigger shot?
I don't think I can. I mean, that was like a Knicks franchise all-timer. I mean, they've hit buzzer beaters, but like regular season for a playoff game and an elimination game. I can't think of one.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't an elimination game for the Knicks, but it
was an elimination game for the.
It was win. It was a win the series shot.
Yeah.
I mean, like there was the 4-point play by Larry Johnson. There are a lot of big shots the Knicks have hit, and I can't go earlier than the 80s. I don't know, maybe in the 70s or 60s. They hit some big shots. I just don't like. I was saying to someone, I'm like, has there ever been a Knick as clutch as Jalen Brunson? Like, I'm like, I don't think so. And the person was like, what about Willis Reed? I'm like, I didn't watch basketball then, so he probably. But at least our modern era, Jalen Brunson.
Yeah, absolutely. It's
I mean,
just incredible.
absolutely incredible to stop. Like, yeah, getting the crossover, basically throwing Thompson off him like that, and then also like the Knicks just they needed 2 points to take the lead, but him going for that three was just like such a dagger.
I mean, the Pistons had to have been just completely demoralized when that shot went in. And then
Was it? Yeah.
for Malik Beasley to fumble the pass right afterwards, that was the perfect player to do that because he was talking so much trash. It was just so nice to see him be the one to fumble that.
Wait, were the Knicks were tied at that point when Brunson hit, or they were down by one? I don't remember.
They were tied.
They were tied. Never mind, they were tied because Towns did have that big steal, and that helped. That tied the game, right?
Yeah.
And we hit one of two baskets.
Yeah.
Still, what an amazing shot! And Detroit still had this chance to win the game if Malik Beasley could have stepped up to the moment and caught a basketball.
Right. He pulled Gary Trent.
Right. He was also talking so much trash all series. It's nice to see him you're like, totally fine if you missed the shot. You didn't catch the basketball.
Right. And if he did, that shot was 100% going in.
He was so on.
Just with the Knicks history and just a wide open three, like you just knew.
When I was talking about things that were going wrong for the Knicks in this series, one of the things that hadn't gone wrong yet in the regular season, Malik Beasley was just toasting the Knicks, and I was like, the one thing he has not gone off. He's not had a good series, and then he's like, "No, I'm not going to miss in game 6."
Right.
Yeah, okay. So Jalen Brunson he shot. So one criticism I heard was that the Brunson shot the ball 33 times in that game.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that's a valid criticism?
I do because they have so many scoring options, and to barely win a game, and Brunson's doing that, like that's not going to work against the Celtics. It beat the Pistons. That's great. I'll take that. But I don't think Towns taking 10 shots is a good recipe for the Celtics.
Yeah, Towns. Outside of that steal, Towns was just complete. What's going on with Towns?
He had three incredible
Yes.
games, and 3 no-shows.
Yeah, he had when he. That's the thing. Like I get fine. He had some good games, of course, but how do you have complete no-shows in the playoffs?
I don't want to say no-show. He did have 15 rebounds, but like offensively, it was almost nothing.
Yeah, he really. I mean, his defense is already weak as it is. So Tommy D, to a point where I agreed with him on his modern NBA account, whatever, posted like, "Hey, now the Knicks." He said, "Why don't the Knicks post up Towns? That might be the easiest win ever."
Yeah, I don't know why the Knicks aren't just doing Brunson Towns pick and rolls over and over and over again. Also, it looked like Mitch was looking for the lob for like 4 straight games, and they weren't throwing it. And then at some point they started just trying to force it when it wasn't even like a realistic option. Bridges trying to like lob it from like half court, and I'm like, why don't you when you're like 3 feet from the net and Mitch is like looking up, like lob it then?
Well, they also made when they were passing them, there were a bunch of times where they passed to Mitch, they were just odd passes to Mitch.
Mm-hmm.
Like in situation obviously you give him the lob pass and so forth. They would just Mitch got the rebound, gives it back to Brunson. Brunson at this point always shoots, and Brunson just kind of gives it back to him. Mitch is like, what the hell's going on here?
Right.
There were a number of passes where Mitch just not in his effect, or a bounce pass to a 7-footer where you're like, why are you giving a bounce pass to a guy who has to bend down that much to get the bounce pass?
Yeah, I don't know. They're using him weird. They're going to need him more in the Celtics series.
Yes, absolutely. They're also going to need a bench in that series. Boston's got to. If you want to compare, we can do our Boston preview here. You want to compare the teams. The starting 5, yeah, Boston has an edge on the starting 5.
But I don't think it's as big as if you go position by position. I don't think it's as big as.
But it doesn't. It doesn't even matter. The difference. It's like the Grand Canyon in terms of difference between the Knicks bench and the Boston bench. The Boston has really playable guys who can really hit shots for you. Peyton Pritchard, the sixth man of the year. Hartford's still pretty good. They have guys that can really make a difference off the bench. Sam Hauser always kind of screws the Knicks. Luke Cornett even like is serviceable. The Knicks bench outside of Mitch has been terrible. And campaign had that good game one, but are we gonna get anything from the bench in this game
I don't know.
against Boston?
The Knicks had 6 points in Game 6 on 2 of 8 shooting, and not much else across the board. 5 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal. This is combined for the entire bench, by the way.
I mean, the Knicks outside of Mitch have had almost no production since game one.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's been McBride has been bad. I did like early on. McBride hit a 3. I was like, oh, maybe McBride like is finally going to turn a quarter, and then he didn't do much else. Plays a little bit of defense, and it's not like I get that. Like, yeah, maybe if these guys on the bench played more, they would do more. But then on the same time, I'm like, if you're Tibbs, you're like, well, why am I going to play these guys? Like, if we're just going to lose the game, if they're just going to lose us the game,
Right.
It's a really struggle with this bench. It's Tibbs not playing them enough, but also that like. I think a lot of us would be like, if you're coaching this team all season, be like, yeah, I don't have a lot of faith in this bench. I'm like, I'm going to have struggle to play them.
Somebody on Twitter was asking if they think Tibbs is going to make any adjustments. This was before Game 6. And I said 100%. He's going to play all the starters over 40 minutes. And I was almost right. He played 3 of them over 40 minutes. And Towns would have been if he wasn't in foul trouble.
Yeah, Towns fouled out.
Actually, Hart was in foul trouble, too. Yeah.
Yeah, Hart had 5 fouls. Like, Tibbs was like, God damn it, I wanted to play for over 40 minutes.
So that's not a great adjustment, I don't think.
Not a great adjustment. I mean, you know what? One thing we have seen is that, like maybe the Knicks are ready to play all these minutes because of how many minutes they're playing during the regular season. I don't know. But, like, OG and Bridges played 44 minutes. It didn't look like they were so like, it didn't sleep. Obviously unreasonable to play them that many minutes, but neither of them are getting injured. They're like, I don't know. They seem like they're able to actually still play.
I think it helped that there was a few challenges and there was a few reviews. So there was,
Yes.
and they take so long. It was almost
long.
It was almost like getting a lot of these players a lot of rest. I mean, they were sitting like 3 to 5 minutes at a time, and that happened like 5-6 times during the game. So that does help.
Right. That makes a big difference. That does actually make a big difference. Like, the reviews are just kind of ridiculous. But, like, it's almost like you should challenge a play as an extra time.
Right. The
game
game was the length of an overtime game, and they played like overtime minutes, I guess. So, I mean,
yeah,
not the worst, but first of all, I'd rather not see 3-hour games where a half hour of it just refs looking at reviews and getting it wrong after the review anyway.
Getting it wrong so many times after the review. It's so annoying. Okay, so overall for the series, if you had to give series grades to the Knicks, what grade are you giving Brunson? Are you giving Brunson A+ or A++?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he gets the highest grade. I mean,
A, whatever you want to give him. You could take points away for not passing the ball enough, not always getting his team involved. He shat the bed in Game 5, but I believe that dagger, you aced the exam.
Yeah, I mean he did take 33 shots, but he had 7 assists, so it's not like he wasn't passing.
Right. I mean, we all watched the game. None of us were like, man, we don't want Brunson shooting the ball.
Right.
Like, you wanted Josh Hart to shoot the ball more. I don't know. Brunson probably should not shoot the ball more than 20 times a game, really. But that doesn't seem to work out for them. I just, whatever.
It's in the CBA, though, that Brunson and Towns can't have a great game at the same time.
It really seems to be. I think they did it during the regular season, but I have not seen that in the playoffs yet.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, in the playoffs. Yeah. It's on page 435 of the CBA.
It's also I think the CBA says there officially is no hand checking unless you're a team playing the Knicks in the playoffs.
Right. There's no hand checking for the Knicks.
It was a pretty I gotta say, there was one play where Tim Hardaway knocked the guy to the ground, got the foul called, but then pushed another guy to the ground.
Yeah, the fact that wasn't an attack was insane to me.
Yeah, I'm like, that you're not reviewing. He just maliciously threw the other.
He literally two-hand shoved 2 different Knicks to the ground. I'm like, You're not gonna look at that at all.
I got to say, Detroit overall, I'm impressed with them. Very good team. They got away with a little bit too much in terms of fouls, but like Cunningham is really good. Though Cunningham didn't have any really big games, and Cunningham went 0 for 8 from three, so like he really didn't come up big in the moment. Jalen Duran looks really good, and I'm impressed how he gets to hit all his free throws, like the opposite of Mitch, basically.
Yeah, 9 out of 10 for a big man is amazing.
Holy shit! And the hack and Mitch strategy is just so. I want that rule changed. I just don't think you should be allowed. I don't think you should be allowed to foul a guy away from a play as a strategy and have that be like a strategy is allowed in the NBA.
Well,
The point of a foul.
I also don't think you should be in the NBA 7 years and be shooting 35% from free throw line.
I agree with both points, but it does seem kind of like you shouldn't be. The point of a foul is you committed something, you violated the rules, and you're being punished. You should not be allowed to use a foul as a weapon.
So, yes and no. This is my complaint. So they did that. They did hack a Mitch. It got Paul Reed in foul trouble. Duran was already in foul trouble. And why didn't they just go to Towns to pound it inside when they only have two centers and they both have
Right.
4 or 5 fouls? Like, we could have been playing like Fontecchio or something at center. Like, I don't get why they didn't just
I don't
try and
get-
finish those guys off.
I don't get at all why Towns never goes down low and just calls for the ball. Feed him the ball down low. He should be working. Like, obviously, he's a great shooter. And he could be like away from the basket, whatever. But I don't need to see him put on like 12 moves to get to the basket. How about he's right there and just develops a hook shot or develops some move around the basket? Like,
He's got
he
moves.
should be.
I mean, he can do stuff. It's just they give him the ball like 25 feet from the net. So when he wants to go down low, he's got to like, do all these moves just to get down there. Like, he needs to start from that position.
Right. I know he's fast. He could burn guys, but he really only burns if they're covering him with a center. He could beat the center to the basket. He's not necessarily beating like he couldn't beat Tobias Harris to the basket most of the time. And it really doesn't help when they can put their center on Josh Hart because Josh Hart's not shooting.
I got to say, starting Harris and Hardaway and pushing the series to 6 and having almost pretty much every game be super close. I mean, they did a great job. So I got to give kudos to the Pistons for just.
Detroit did great. Yeah, they hit shots. They Amon Thompson, Astor Thompson, whatever which one. He like despite his dumb fouls, he played really good defense. He scored around the basket. He was good. Tobias Harris didn't look anything but washed up. Timmy Hardaway, for the most part, was not the most efficient, but he hit some big shots. Dennis Schroeder should get a decent contract, not like a big he's got to be a guy. Detroit should do everything to keep him. He's really, really good off the bench.
Yeah. I mean, and then you add Stewart and.
Well, Stewart didn't really play after game 1.
Well, no, he was injured, but I mean,
Yeah.
next year you had Stewart and Ivy. Like, it's a good team.
Yeah, they're a pretty good team. I mean, the only thing I wonder with like Ivy's defense is not as good as like in some ways I wonder if Ivy was playing, he takes away from like Schroeder's minutes. Well, maybe he just takes Timmy Hardaway's minutes, which is like beneficial. But either way, they've got a good young team. I'm excited not to have to see JB Bickerstaff like just won't shut up during the broadcast during the game.
The JB stands for just bitching.
Just bitching. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, so Boston series. How is Boston going to stop the Knicks?
I mean, they just. First of all, I don't know if Holiday didn't play after game 1, so I don't know if he's back.
I'm assuming he's back. I'm assuming
Everybody's always back against the Knicks.
Everyone's always back against the Knicks. Who covers Towns? Because I don't think they're going to put Porzingis on Towns. I don't think they have to.
It would probably be Horford or what do you think, Jaylen Brown? Who do you think they're going to put on?
I mean, I think
Tatum?
Drew Holiday could probably cover him. I think they're going to pick someone small and like maybe Jaylen Brown. I think they're going to pick someone smaller than him but faster than him because that seems to give him problems. He doesn't seem to exploit the matchup.
I don't know. I
size.
feel like Holiday might be too small.
I feel like they don't want to see. Like Porzingis on him I don't remember actually the regular season who was covering him, but I don't think they want to see Porzingis on him, have Porzingis get into foul trouble.
Right.
And Porzingis, I think Porzingis is obviously a very good player, but I just don't think he's strong. I don't think he's nearly as strong as Towns.
No, definitely not. Definitely not.
But and who do you think they're going to have cover Brunson? Brunson, is that going to be, that'll probably be Drew Holiday, and maybe Jaylen Brown.
Derek White.
Oh, Derek White, obviously.
Yeah.
They can put Derek White on fucking, I think Towns does not exploit these matchups, so I think they're going to put someone smaller on him. I don't know.
Yeah, I think
you think I'm wrong?
White's
You
on
think they're going to have Porzingis? I mean, obviously, if Horford's in the game, I think Horford would cover him. But
yeah, I think it's going to be Horford or maybe Brown. I don't think they put KP on him, but you never know. Or maybe they do KP if it's like out by the 3-point line and switch up if it goes under the net.
Maybe. I think the Boston they like to put their teams have liking to put like their big on Josh Hart because they feel like he's a non-shooter. I guess Boston has everyone can play defense, and everyone can shoot. And Boston doesn't have the same problems other teams have. I mean, Boston could freaking put Luke Cornett on Josh Hart and probably would work out. Josh Hart has to. I know he shot well percentage-wise. He's got to shoot more threes. He's got to be more. Like the first half of the game, he did not shoot the basket. He's got to be more alpha when it comes to scoring.
Yeah.
We have to have 5 guys on the floor that want to score because that's the only way you're going to beat Boston is everyone's looking to score. You cannot have them you cannot let Boston double a guy because one of the guys on the floor is not playing offense.
So the two players who defended Towns the most were Tatum and Holiday.
Okay. Oh yeah, I figured Holiday. I don't think Holiday's that. I mean, Holiday's really strong. Tatum, I could see giving Towns problems also.
Yeah, Tatum's a good defender, and he's
tall. They're all good defenders.
Yeah.
I mean, the reverse also. Tatum, you put OG on him, right?
Yes.
Okay, but then you get I guess McHale on Jaylen Brown. Towns on Porzingis. You hope Porzingis doesn't. I mean, what's really killed us against I mean, there are a lot of things that kill us against Boston, but like. Porzingis seems to have great games against the Knicks. He seems to be like, you can't let him just like hit 5 threes against us.
That's every game. So the Celtics have made 39 more 3-pointers than the Knicks over the 4-game series. Almost 10 more threes a game.
Jesus. So the Knicks shot the ball against Detroit 34 threes in the last game, but even the other games I feel like the number of threes were less. The Knicks have to. Boston shoots close to 50 threes a game, and the Knicks can't shoot 50 threes a game, but they've got to push it above 35 every game, or close to 40, because you're not going to win when the Boston is going to hit all these threes.
Yeah.
Because Boston also shoots a high percentage. Like they're going to shoot. At best, you're holding them to like 30% or 35% from 3.
Well, they're also going to make other people win the game. They're going to smother Brunson this series.
Yeah. Do you think the refs allow? I mean, like, the refs will allow Boston to be more physical, right? But they'll also allow the Knicks to be more physical against Boston. Orlando seemed to give the Boston some problems by being a lot more physical.
Right.
Can the Knicks be as physical as Orlando was?
I don't know about as physical, but they could be more physical than they have been.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like the NBA is okay with like arm hooking and things like that. So maybe
they're really like okay. It's weird when they call like a touch foul, and you're like, have you seen what you're allowing the rest of the game?
Right.
Like even like when you're doing the hack and Mitch, and they just kind of touch Mitch and they call a foul. I'm like, why are you calling that when that's not a foul in any other portion of the game?
Right.
Shouldn't they have to punch Mitch to get the hack and Mitch?
I always found that weird. Like you just look at the ref and you tap him on the shoulder, and now it's a foul. Like. If you're making eye contact with the ref, like they call the foul.
Right, and no other portion of the game would they ever call that a foul in the playoffs.
Right. Yeah, I would just not call that.
Yeah. I feel like Brunson to win. Brunson's got to have like just everyone else has got to play well. Brunson has to go off. Brunson's got to score like 40 points a game to like.
I don't know. I don't know if that's a winning formula. Like
I don't know what a winning formula is. I mean. It'd be nice if like Bridges could actually hit threes. It'd be nice that like If Josh Hart could participate in the offense, it'd be nice if Towns could have a big game.
Yeah, I think they're gonna have a more evenly distributed game, like Game 6. Yeah, you had Bridges with 25, OG with 22. Like, I think you're gonna have more games like that.
You're gonna have to have like Towns also shoot three. Like Towns has shot the least amount of threes in his career this year in the Knicks,
Yeah, he only
or
shot
maybe
one last game.
yeah. It's you have to. I don't know why you mentioned before. Why have the Knicks gone away from the pick and roll? And by gone away from it, not used it at all this season.
Well, they've gone away from pretty much anything other than ISO. It's not always Brunson. Sometimes it's an OG ISO or a Bridges ISO. It's just an ISO offense. There's no ball movement, and I don't think that's going to work against the Celtics. So they're going to have to play more like they did. They had a streak where the ball was flying around and the Knicks looked
Yeah.
really, really good. Like they're going to have to go back to that.
They have to play the best they. I mean, to win this series, they have to play the best they played all season. Basically, they have to play at the height of their offense, play top-notch defense. I mean, Boston's another level from Detroit. This is like a whole other level in terms of opponent.
Yeah, I mean, if you're again, if you're doing position by position matchups, like Boston probably wins 4 out of 5 against Detroit.
I mean, I got Brunson versus Drew Holiday. Brunson wins, but it's pretty close because of Drew Holiday's defense.
Hmm.
I mean, obviously, Brunson's a far superior offensive player, but Drew Holiday plays hell of a defense. Like Brunson wins that. You think it's like a landslide to the Knicks?
I think it's a pretty decisive win, especially since Holiday's been out for like 2 weeks.
Fair.
I mean, what is he even going to look like?
I feel like Drew Holiday's one of the better defenders at that position in the NBA. That's all. But he's also a little older, like maybe with the injury. Okay, so anyway, Knicks get that position.
Yeah.
Then Towns versus Porzingis.
I am still giving that to Towns. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, Porzingis, in the role they give him, plays pretty well.
Yeah, but think about, like, against Towns. Like, no, I'm giving that to Towns.
I don't know. Think about against Towns. Yeah, I mean, like, maybe you think Porzingis will disappear for 3 of the games?
I think it's possible.
Possible. Okay, so let's just say you call it a slight edge to Towns. Okay, Tatum versus OG. Love OG, but this is easily Tatum.
Yeah.
Okay. Brown versus Bridges.
Yeah, that's Brown.
And Derek White versus Josh Hart.
Yeah, that's White.
Yeah. And then bench, as I said.
Yeah, well, the bench is a blowout. That's the difference. I think starting lineups, it's not as lopsided as people might think.
So we're both agreed. We're both predicting Knicks in 4.
Yeah, of course.
Of course. I would just love. I mean, obviously, I'd love the Knicks to win this series. If they could get this to like, I'll be happy if they get. If they don't win, 7 games, I'm happy. 6 games, I'm still okay.
Mm-hmm.
5 games, I'm not happy.
No, 4 or 5, like. I mean, you got to call the season like, if they're not competitive, then I think they need big changes this season in the off season, and maybe that's just like the coach. But if they get absolutely stomped, like they're pretty much locked into this roster unless something crazy happens. So they probably have to change coaches.
I think they're changing coaches no matter what. Well, outside of the Knicks winning the series, I think they're changing coaches.
Yeah, if they win the series, then Tibbs is locked in for like the next 5 years. Right? I think I lost Mark.
All right, I think I'm hang on. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I lost you for a second.
Wait a second.
I lost Mark. He'll be back in a second. I think. If not, then short episode today. Mark is doing his doing the episode from a parking lot, so spotty reception maybe.
Jay, I'm back.
You are back.
Cool. Oh wait, hang on. Sorry, hang on.
Now I don't hear you. Now I don't see you or hear you. If you're wondering how many episodes it would take for us to not have technical difficulties, and you had the over-under on 678, you lost.
Yes. I'm doing this episode from my car. The sun is blaring on me. I am covered in sweat.
Okay.
I turned the car on to like get the air conditioning going because I can't take it anymore, and that screwed it up. Anyway, I'm back now. Let's wrap this up in 5 minutes.
Yeah, I don't want you to die in your car, so
I might die in my car. I'm like one of those toddlers that's been left in the car, and I'm just gonna die. But it's not a parent. It's not like a parent forgetting them. I'm killing myself.
Man dies in car because he tried to podcast without the air conditioner.
Man dies podcasting in car. There's like an epidemic. They're like, we've lost 40% of all white men in the country.
Yeah, for those
okay.
for those who aren't watching live, Mark is recording in his car in a parking lot because that's the only time we can make it work.
For various reasons, I'm doing this right now. Okay, why don't we wrap it up? Okay, so we're predicting it'll be a tough series. We're hoping it gets to 6 or 7. We'll record again this week, probably after game 2. Okay. What are your Jay? What is gonna needed? I say Brunson needs to score 40, and I say OG and Mikal Bridges have to like hit their have to both hit at least 3 to 4 threes, and Towns needs to really show up. I mean, I guess these are all obvious points. What do you say?
Yeah, I think Towns is going to need to score over 25, and we're going to need 15 to 20 from OG and Bridges, and the bench is going to have to do something. We can't have 6 points from the entire bench.
I'd like to see Towns get goddamn 40 points. I'd like to see him go off.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see just a huge Towns game.
Yeah.
Okay.
Eviscerate
jumping around the NBA real briefly. I just want to congratulate Minnesota for beating the Lakers.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the NBA refs wouldn't let that happen, but they were okay with it. Julius Randle looked pretty good despite being in the playoffs. And Minnesota looks awesome.
Almost like when he doesn't need ankle surgery, he's actually good. He doesn't magically forget how to play basketball.
So they're playing next round. They're playing against the winner of Golden State Clippers.
Yes.
The Golden State. Yeah.
Who just
no Golden State. Sorry, Golden State. Houston. Sorry.
Who just pushed it to 7.
Okay. Is it Golden State Houston? Yeah. So
Golden State Houston, and then Denver Clippers also went to 7.
Yeah. So I think Minnesota's got a decent shot against. We talked about it before. I feel like they have a decent shot next round.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm picking them to get to the conference finals.
And I'm curious to see how OKC. I would think it'd be Denver, but it could. I'm curious to see what happens here against Denver. Either team should challenge OKC. It's not going to be an easy series for OKC at all.
Right. Yeah. It's going to be fun. The West is going to be a lot of fun.
East.
Actually, the whole semi should be fun.
You think so? Cleveland, Indiana. You think Indiana's going to push Cleveland?
I do.
Yeah, I don't think I still think Cleveland's not as good as everyone thinks they are. This should be a good match.
And Indy might be a little better than people think they are.
It's going to be great in the conference finals when it's Indy versus the Knicks, a rematch. It's going to be awesome.
I'd be down for that.
I'll be down for that. Anything else you want to add, Jay? Before I die in this hot car?
I don't want you to die. nyknickspodcast@gmail.com or nyknickspodcast on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Spotify. You name it, we're there. We have a Discord. You could the links are in the show notes. You could join and chat with us chat with me during the games. And that's it. So we'll be back after game 2, and we'll check in. And we just wanted to do an episode where we were pretty upbeat because we don't know how the first 2 games are going to go next series, and we don't want to end the show just on all negatives, so we figured we'd do a little
Yeah, no,
positive show.
we're really positive. We are awesome. Knicks, that shot was just the end of the show by saying that shot was unbelievable, so awesome. I love Jalen Brunson.
Yeah, I mean that's top 10 shot in Knicks history.
And by the way, when I say I love him, I have to talk to my wife about like if we can have like a throuple.
That's what his hand gesture means.
Yes. Okay, I'm gonna die in this car soon, so please end the show, Jack.
All right, thanks for listening, everybody, and we'll check in later next week. Goodbye.
Happy train.